Hello and welcome to Aging Matters, a program that is presented by the Berks County Area Agency on Aging. My name is Ann Barlet. I'm the Public Advocacy and Outreach Manager for the agency. Our show this evening is all about Alzheimer's disease and a focus on the walk to end Alzheimer's. And my guest is Kellie Butsack. Thank you, Kellie. Kellie is the Associate Director of Programs for the Alzheimer's Association. So thank you. I'm glad that you could be with us tonight, and I think it's timely and appropriate certainly tonight to talk about hopefully the walk to end Alzheimer's. I think it's a great title of a walk because quite honestly you'd like to be I'll say walked out of a job.
Yes.
In terms of, knowing, talking about certainly Alzheimer's disease, and that certainly your organization doing some fundraising is the means to do that. One is through the walk. And so let's start with, I love the title, Walk to End Alzheimer's. Tell us first a little bit about the walk that's coming up. It's an annual walk, right? You do it every year.
Yes.
Same time, so tell us when and where.
Well, thank you, Anne, for having me tonight. It is very timely because in just a few short weeks we will be having our Berks County Walk to End Alzheimer's event. So right here in this community with our local people in Berks County. It is scheduled for Saturday, October 8th. And this year, the important thing for viewers to know is that we are at a new location. So for many years, we've been walking at Kutztown University. This year, we will be walking on the campus of Penn State Berks. So we do have a brand new location, Saturday, October 8th. Registration will start at 9 a.m. The walk will start at 10:30, which is fairly traditional for what we've been doing for the past number of years. And we invite everyone certainly to come out. The Walk to End Alzheimer's is our largest fundraising event for not only for our local offices, but for our national organization as well.
Oh, okay.
The walk event is the primary a tool. I'm searching for the right word tonight. But it is our primary or feature event, fundraising event that we do, which really funds everything else that we are able to do for persons who have a diagnosis, as well as their family members, as well as professional caregivers around the country that are helping to care for them.
So there are several walks actually happening at different times and locations.
Right, throughout the fall, anywhere from September through November. We have walks going on all over the country.
Wow, how nice.
Yep, right here in Berks County. It's October 8th.
Let's clarify, while we're on the walk a little bit before we move on, can I just show up that day, or do I have to pre-register somehow?
Well, you can certainly show up that day to walk. If you're not sure what your plans are yet, you can certainly show up that day and register when you get there to walk. The benefit of pre-registering in advance is, of course, it gives you the next couple of weeks to raise some money as a walker and as a participant. So
we're going to go get our pledges.
Right. So it does increase your success, and which in turn, of course, increases our success with the fundraising side of it. So if people know they have that day free and they want to support the cause, and support loved ones, who are going through it, then certainly they can go on our website, go online, call, and register now, and then use the next couple of weeks to fundraise for the event. But we certainly don't turn anybody away the day of either.
I can still come with my check in hand.
Yes, you can, with your check in hand.
And also, if I know that it's combinations, so it could be an individual such as myself who decides to come and provide the pledges that I have gotten, or I could join a team, because I know there's some other teams that are forming, right? So I could kind of walk with others if I didn't have a team. I could join a team.
You could. In Berks County, here at our local walk, year after year, we have a lot of people who return every year. Last year in 2015, we had over 700 walkers. And a lot of those walkers were members of teams, because we had over 100 teams
Oh, wow.
registered
Oh,
for the walk. And anybody can be a team or form a team. You can have, we have a lot of family teams. So of course, families who rally behind a loved one, that they're caring for. But we also have a lot of company teams. So a lot of businesses, we have teams from the college campuses. So we have sororities that have teams and different groups and organizations. So anyone really can be a team.
Okay, and it's not too late to form a team. So
And it is never too late.
All right, we will have Kellie's information up later in the show as far as how to do that, how to register a little bit, how to contact Kellie to form teams, and also a little bit more about the location at Penn State for that day, and we'll circle back to that. I wanted to focus a little bit more then in the purpose, I guess. We've had other shows where we've talked about Alzheimer's disease, and we've talked about the types and progression and kind of expectations and whatnot. But I think knowing that we're talking about the walk and the fundraising, a lot of times people say, oh, well, where does that money really go?
Right.
So I think it's good to know how the money is used. Whether it's for this one big cause, and if all of that money is pooled for the one big cause, and what is that in terms of Alzheimer's? Where are we at right now with that? What's the funding kind of focusing on in Alzheimer's disease?
Right. Well, it funds a lot of things. It pretty much funds everything we do. I mean, we do have other little events going on throughout the year, but really the walk funds everything we do as a nonprofit. Of course, we have to raise the funds that we need to do the things that we do, the programs and services. So locally, we use the funds to provide all the free programs and services that we do for individuals who are diagnosed.
So like education?
For their family members, correct.
Okay.
It helps to fund our 24/7 helpline, which is 24/7, 365 days a year, manned phone line to answer questions and help people via phone. It funds the consumer education that we do out in the community when you see us doing a program at a library or doing a program at a residential care facility, educating individuals and family members on the disease and how to manage the care. So it funds those type of programs. It funds our support group system. So we have support groups around the area that are affiliated with us, and it allows us to sustain the support groups and the resources and materials that they need to help caregivers. It funds our diversity and inclusion and our outreach efforts. It funds our safety services, which includes our
Tell us about the safety
medical
services. Yeah, I don't know that we know a lot about that.
Yeah, we have a program which is actually nationwide, but we do it in all of our local communities, which is part of Medical Alert. And it's called Safe Return, and it's for wandering. So persons with dementia who may wander from their residence and become missing. Become lost, go missing, and it's part of Medical Alert, so they wear the Medical Alert bracelet.
Okay, so it's typed into that. Okay.
So safety programs like that. It helps to fund our advocacy efforts, because we're always advocating for better programs and more monies for caregivers to care for individuals. So we're always advocating year-round, and we've had great success through the Alzheimer's Association with our advocacy efforts in the past year, because as all nonprofits do, we're always advocating for more research dollars.
So you're always having to meet with those.
So we're always meeting with legislators, and we take bus trips with our constituents and volunteers, and we go to Washington, D.C., and we go to Harrisburg. And so we're always meeting with legislators to talk about programs and research funding that's going to benefit individuals that are on this journey. And in the past year, interestingly, Alzheimer's disease, despite the rise in cases of Alzheimer's disease, it is still one of the least funded medical health issues today in our country. And so we've been advocating very hard for funding, and
yeah, because you would think that, I mean, with that situation, it can hit at any age, so it's not something that's just,
yes,
oh, it's over this age.
Prevalent,
there are a lot of younger folks that get it, and then the healthier you are, it's going to be, it's that chronic condition. So it's not going away with some cures and treatments and medication and whatnot.
So it's very underfunded considering the number of people diagnosed and where the trajectory is for people aging and being diagnosed. So we've had some success. Last year, Congress passed a law to increase Alzheimer's research funding by $350 million, which was the largest increase we've ever had. And I just saw something this week where the NIH, or the National Institutes of Health, actually just put in a proposal for a Alzheimer's research increase in funding for over $400 million for 2018.
Wow.
So we're having, and that's because we're always in their offices, knocking on their doors, saying we need more.
Well, and I'm sure that people
keeping it in the forefront of,
and the local folks here who have been touched by it in any way, who are participating in support groups, who are experiencing it or related in some way, whether it's a caregiver, through an agency even, or an individual caregiving, anybody who's been affected. I would think you'd welcome kind of their calls and letters to their local representatives, so that they can also, as you're kind of double hitting, so that as you go to the sessions.
We do. We have a lot of people, we have a lot of family members and volunteers in the communities across the country who have joined our advocacy network, and we will let them know when we need them to contact their legislator if something's coming up for vote that affects our constituents. We will reach out to our advocacy network and let them know, email or call your senator now and ask them to to vote on something. So we do have a very vast advocacy network, and people are welcome to call and get information on that and find out, if they want to be part of that advocacy network. They can do that. Anyone can do that.
And so I'm curious now, with the NIH for research, were they specific in when they're submitting and wanting to add additional funding for that, for research? Do you know if there was for a particular?
I don't yet, because I just saw it this week.
Okay, I didn't know how they did that.
Yeah, the way it was, the little blurb that I saw, the way it was written was to increase Alzheimer's research funding. So I don't know.
And
if
in a way,
was
that's a good thing it isn't, perhaps, because it's probably one of those too, that you're still weaving a path of, finding this, and then this leads to this, and maybe you want to go in that direction rather than in this direction.
Well, and outside of the federal government, and the Congress and their appropriations committees and the NIH and the other arms of government that control spending, and the budget. Outside of the federal government, the Alzheimer's Association is the largest funder of research. So when you talk about why do we have walk events and why do we need to raise money, it's because in addition to needing to fund the programs for the people and the individuals and the families that need the help and support, we also, because of that disparity in funding for research, we also need to fund research so that we can find the end of Alzheimer's, as we call it, so that we can, we have a new, I don't know if any of the viewers have seen it, we have a new national commercial that's running, and I just saw it the other morning, early in the morning when I had the news on at home. We have a new national commercial that's called The First Survivor. And I hope people will see it, because I know it's running on the major networks. I've seen it. But we have somewhat of a new theme where we are working, as an association, we are working very hard to find that first survivor, because we don't have survivors with Alzheimer's disease and other dementias right now. And so that's our focus, is We're looking for, we have a very aggressive strategic goal as an association of finding prevention and treatment for Alzheimer's disease by 2025. So we're under the 10-year.
Wow.
We're under the 10-year mark right now.
Prevention.
So we're looking for a treatment by 2025.
Okay.
So that hopefully will lead to surviving the disease. And so we're looking, so we have this new commercial running
we've seen
talking
it
about
in
the first survivor.
other diseases. You
Right.
know, I think back to HIV and AIDS,
Right.
and that we've certainly come in terms of the treatment, the drug regimens,
Right.
and some other things.
We're looking for what
So-
we've seen in the past decade or two with the success of, we now have people surviving cancer and AIDS and HIV and heart disease and diabetes. You know, we've had success in other illnesses and chronic illnesses, and so now we're the
And clearly,
kind of the last
to know
ones.
to do
and-
that, we need research. We need
Right.
to follow the path, figure out what's
Exactly.
happening in the brain, and
There's so many different angles to research right now, and when I say the association is the largest funder, and that's not just here in the U.S. We fund global projects, so worldwide.
Oh, okay.
We are the largest funder of research. So since 1982, we have put more than $350 million into research, and we've funded more than 2,300 studies and investigations. And we have our trial match program where individuals who are interested in participating in research can use our trial match database, and they can find clinical trials that might be appropriate for them, that they might be eligible to participate in. I think we have more than 250 trials right now on there that are, of course, dementia specific.
Okay.
So it helps kind of narrow the search versus looking through all the government trials, that are out there. We have one specific for dementia. So again, the funding helps programs like that, helps us to provide programs like that to just help people find what they need, find the support they need, the programs they need, the resources they need, the education they need to be able to really manage the disease and live with the disease, to continue living while they are managing this chronic condition. So the funding is very important. Our walk events, like I said, are our largest pool of money that we bring in to fund all of that. And in our region here, of course, our Berks County, our local walk is very successful. We typically raise upwards of $150,000 just locally here in this
wonderful.
in this community, which is wonderful.
So we should
and we're
put
so
a challenge
thankful.
out there,
It's
right?
phenomenal.
To see if we can't beat that.
Right. But our chapter, our Berks County office is part of our Delaware Valley chapter, which is headquartered in Philadelphia. And our chapter in this region is very strong. We have a lot of wonderful volunteers and supporters. And last year in 2015, our Philadelphia Walk, which happens at Citizens Bank Park, where the Phillies play, was the largest walk to end Alzheimer's in the country.
Wow.
Raised over $1 million. Wow. So combined, our chapter actually has six or seven different walks that we do throughout the fall, Berks County being one of them. So when you look at, excuse me, all of the walks that our local staff works on, we have over 13,000 walkers, and we raise $1.2 million. So we're very fortunate in this area. We're very thankful to those that come out and support the cause and support the individuals and families really that are on the journey. And we've been very fortunate, and we're looking forward to having another, continuing that success and tradition at our new
new
walk location at Penn
yes.
State Berks this
Yes.
year. So
Yes. One thing, just wanted to ask, as far as if you wanted to say something about the research, is there something that you think they're kind of focusing on lately? Is there some direction?
well, you know, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert on the research side, but I can tell you, because I've had an opportunity to attend some of our research conferences.
Oh, nice.
Just to see, kind of what's going on. I can tell you that there, in recent years, research into Alzheimer's disease particularly has really taken on a lot of different angles, because it's a disease of the brain and it's so complex that it could be many things. So I know there are certainly research studies that are looking at drug therapy, and medicines for treatment.
Okay.
There are studies that are looking at music therapy, and studies that are looking at living lifestyle changes, and how does lifestyle affect the onset of the disease. So there are opportunities for individuals with a diagnosis to participate in research, but there's also opportunity for healthy individuals and family members,
to almost
family
study
caregivers,
they're changing,
to also
like a
participate.
diet, and what happens over 10 years. Am I more likely to not get it, or get it if I've changed, as an example? Okay.
Yeah. And I know some of the viewers tuning in tonight may have seen there was a news report came out on a drug that they're testing right now that is showing some promise with reducing the amyloid plaque in the brain, which is one of the hallmarks of the disease. So
almost like the way a hypertension, a drug for high blood pressure could kind of keep that plaque away. So there's a lot of things in the research pipeline that are showing promise. It's just having the patience and the funding to keep it going, to get all the subjects and studies and
to get some results.
It does take a lot. Well, that brings us back again to the end and the beginning. In the end, hopefully to end Alzheimer's and the walk. Again, Kelly, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to say the graphics are on, but please tell us again, the local Berks County walk is?
Saturday, October 8th at Penn State University, Berks campus.
And where on the campus? Where might we be gathering?
The parking is going to be in the large main parking lot right off of Broadcasting Road.
Okay.
And then to the left of the parking lot, if you're kind of facing campus, I believe, and I hope nobody from Penn State, I hope I don't say this name wrong, but there's a plaza near the library, I believe it's called Perlman Plaza, which will be to the left of the parking lots. But it'll be well marked, and people will find it.
We'll see a lot of the purple shirts.
Yes. And it's a Saturday morning, so I doubt that too much else will be going on campus. So if you'd like to walk or join a team, or if you'd like to be a sponsor, if you have a business and you want to be a sponsor, or you sing and you want to come out and be part of our entertainment, we'll have an ice cream truck there. We have food, we have entertainment, we have fun for children in all ages.
And please tell us how to reach you then, or who do we register with ahead of time? How do we
You can certainly register online through our website at alz.org. There's a walk logo. You can click on that, put in your zip code. It will take you to your local, the walks in your area, so you can find the Berks County Walk that way. Or you can simply call our helpline, our toll-free helpline number, which was up on the screen a minute ago, the 800-272-3900, and we can get you registered online. Right.
Okay,
so
super.
by phone or online.
Oh, good. Well, I hope that we have a good turnout this year. I hope Berks County is again successful, or strive to beat last year's goal, and help us with the walk to end Alzheimer's. And thank you for tuning in to Aging Matters.